Mariners lose 12-4. They fall 4-6 on the season, and they lose the series to the Brewers 2-1. I'm not going to go over all the scoring plays. I'm just going to give you how the innings went because I think it tells the story. Mariners get 1 in the first. Brewers get 3 in the first. Mariners get 1 in the second. Brewers get 3 in the second. Brewers get 4 in the fourth. Brewers get 2 in the eighth. Mariners get 2 in the ninth. 12-4. I did the math. It adds up. This was ugly. But we will start with some positives. Bottom of the order outside of Sebi Zavala, who is just a dreadful hitter. Did well. Josh Rojas reaches 3 times, drives in a run. Canzone gets a couple of hits. Now, one of them meaningless for the score anyway, but it's a reminder of the power that guy has. He clobbered that baseball. And beggars can't be choosers. We also saw Rojas pitch in this game, which leads to one of the positives that outside of Colin Snyder, and really hope Colin Snyder is okay. For lack of a better term, Colin Snyder got Charlie Browned in this game. Like he took a ball right off of his kneecap. Looked like he wanted to continue, but just couldn't push down on the mound, get that necessary leverage. So they did the right thing and pulled him. But Taylor Saucedo pitched excellent. Trent Thornton was just fine. And Josh Rojas threw a baseball 40 miles per hour. I can't say I was expecting that today. I can't say I was wanting that today. But it's kind of fun. How often do you see a 40-mile-per-hour pitch? Today you saw a 40-mile-per-hour pitch. Julio hit a ball hard. Polanco looks like he's getting more comfortable at the plate. Those are neutrals at best. But this is going to be another shorter video because I'm still not feeling 100%. And because there's just so little positives to talk about here. Before I get into the negatives, there's one other positive for sure. I bet you can guess what it is. It's Simply Seattle. They provide the very best in Seattle sports gear. Great stuff for the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Huskies, the Kraken, the Storm, the Sounders, all of your local sports teams. You can find great stuff for them. And once you find all that stuff you want, use code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off your order. Great deal from great people. There is a link in the description to make it nice and easy for you. But once again, www.simplyseattle.com and code MOLLYWHOP15. All right, there's no sugarcoating it. Emerson Hancock was awful. The only thing that we can say positive for Hancock, well, there's a couple things. Number one, he didn't look terrible in his first start, so we don't want to be too, how is this going to work, yada, yada, yada. Number two, he got squeezed a couple of times in the early innings. There were some pitches that should have been, I thought, strike 3 that didn't end up being strike 3. And I saw some good sliders. Even in a crap factory of a start, there were some okay pitches here. But I guess that is sugarcoating. Because the overall Emerson Hancock experience today was dreadful. Caught way too much to the plate. Just missed giving up a third homer. I mean, he didn't fool hitters outside of a few nasty sliders. And look, William Contreras is a really good offensive player, but it's worth pointing out that this start came against a mediocre lineup that did not have arguably its best hitter in it with Christian Yelich taking the day off. I might argue William Contreras is better now, but anyway, this was ugly. And I'm not blaming the defense here. I'm not blaming the umpires either. Emerson Hancock just flat out was not good enough today. And, he did look okay against Cleveland. He didn't look great, but he looked okay. So, you take the bitter with the better a little bit. You acknowledge, too, that it's your 5th starter. But you got to be better than this. You got to be better than this for sure. I was not impressed Funny thing to say, I know, about a start where a guy goes 3 1/3 innings and allows 11 hits and 8 earned runs and 2 homers. Just strike out 6. Hey, strike out 6 if you're looking for some sort of positive. But man, this was ugly. I think the biggest thing here too for me is that okay, it's extremely early. I'm tired of saying it, but I have to because otherwise people yell at me. And some people yell at me for even bringing it up that it's early. I really can't win. Poor Chris Crawford. Um, they have had a chance to win all 3 of these series, which is good. It's good to have a chance to win series. They have not won any of these series, which is bad. And they've been outscored by 20 runs in these games. They lost 5-1 in the finale against Boston. They lost 8-0 against Cleveland in that finale. And they lose by 8 again in this one. And really, it wasn't that close. This was a game Milwaukee dominated from really start to finish. I don't know what you take away from that. I don't think it's a case of them not trying hard. I don't think it's a case of you need to make rash decisions per se. But I know that it's ugly. I know that I'm not enjoying Mariner baseball right now. Is anyone having fun watching this team right now? You can acknowledge that things are going to get better, very likely. This is not a team, because right now, if you extrapolate this over the 16 more times they're going to play 10 games, they're on pace to be about a 65-win team, 64 and 96 with 2 to play to determine how many games you win. You can acknowledge that. You can acknowledge that some guys who are struggling right now are going to play better, unquestionably, including their very best player. But are you having fun watching it right now? Because I'm not. I'm not having a lick of fun watching this. And I love this team. I love the Seattle Mariners. I love my family getting to enjoy Seattle Mariner games. I mean, I've made this so abundantly clear so many times. I don't know why. Maybe just for the new subscribers. And I love baseball. But I am not having fun watching this team so far. And that's disappointing because I think it is a fun roster with some really fun players. I think Julio is one of my favorite players to watch ever in Seattle Mariner history. I think Big Dumper is a hoot. I think that Jorge Polanco and Mitch Garver and Mitch Haniger, by the way, just as a side note, when you see Haniger and Dumper out of this lineup, we talked about it when Dumper was out the other day. But when you see 2 guys of that quality not in this lineup, even with Big Dumper struggling right now, you see that this depth is still a problem. By the way, Luke Raley was terrible again today. He had a line drive to a first baseman, but he's just not looked the part. Very few people have. I don't know, man. Blowouts are really frustrating. It's probably a little like if you told me the Seattle Mariners were going to lose and you had a choice between them losing 8-7 or 1-0 or 12-4, there are some days where I'll take the 12-4 because it hurts less. I was emotionally divested from the game by about the 5th inning. No, just by the end of the 4th inning. It was over. I'm glad I don't have to experience that heartbreak anymore. It's broken. There's no more breaking. I'll probably take that, even if it's problematic. It's not good to get your butt kicked. And they've gotten their butt kicked a bunch already. A lot of baseball left to be played, but I'm just telling you right now, over these first 10 games, I have not had fun. The good news is maybe that makes it more likely for the next 150 to be more fun. Just the law of averages. Tomorrow is Luis Castillo versus Jose Barrios. Hopefully Castillo can pitch better. They need it. They need a series win. Need is, again, a subjective term. I think a series win would be really beneficial for how this team has looked. Please hit like and subscribe. I know this was a little bit of a rambling video. I got distracted in the middle by my dog, who is just not doing very well. She has Cushing's disease and the itching. I feel so bad for her. Puts a blowout loss in perspective when your 13-year-old dog is doing bad, right? Yeah. Anyway, enough negativity. I'm going to go live on Tuesday after the game. I was hoping to do it Wednesday, but I have something I'm doing on Wednesday that's really fun, which I will tell you guys about Tuesday night. I'm really excited for it. Oh, I am super pumped. Super pumped. That makes me feel better as well. But like, subscribe, all that stuff. This game was nonsense. Do you agree with me that Emerson Hancock was pretty poor tonight? I can't imagine you don't, but let's talk about it anyway.